You can max out your health. You can max out your entire life. But if you don't max out your communication skills, then you're coping. It's all useless. The physique, the way you look, the way you think, your mindset, all these little mindset tricks. If you do not max out your communication, the one thing that's unpredictable, the one thing that's scary, then you're wasting your time. Okay, I had this realization last night. Your health is the foundation of your life. Okay? It is the backbone of your identity. It shapes the way you think. Your every action is so much smoother. You look better if you're healthier. You have more drive and energy when you're healthier. But communication is the four walls and the roof. Okay, it is like, if you're not communicating, if you're not putting yourself out there, your physique, your mindset, your thoughts, they go to die. Okay, your voice is an instrument. You know, if you die with these songs inside of you, then you're doing a disservice to other people. You're doing a disservice to yourself. Communication is everything. Okay, I know you probably don't want to hear this, because I didn't want to hear this either. Okay, it's the one thing that I genuinely lacked in my life. It's the one thing that I've been trying to work on, and it sucked, right? It's unpredictable. It's the one thing that, like, we can't actually control. Like, our health we can control, our physique we can control, but like relationships, communication, it's unpredictable. We have to act in the moment. We just have to act before we think. You know, it's scary, but like, it's all useless if you don't have communication, if you're not actually working on that skill. But the thing is, you can max out your communication. You can max out any skill in life if you put your mind to it. Okay, it sounds generic, right? But it's so true. If you can like work on your physique, it's progressive overload. You need to progressively overload your life. So I'm not saying my communication skills are like amazing. I'm not an expert, okay? But I'm working on them. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you what I'm doing to work on my communication skills. So then you can do them with me. I'm doing this because without communication, all the work that I've done is useless, okay? My whole life, I've been in a shell. I've been a shell on myself. I've been in my old identity. But now I'm working on my communication. You know, I'm about to go to college, right? And I will never have this much of an opportunity to talk to people ever. You know, I will never be around this many people my age, this many young people. I mean, obviously it's kind of a degenerate environment, but I cannot have that mentality, because that's what I used to have. I was like, oh, I'm just better than all these people, so like, why should I be friends with them? No, that's cope. You're coping. You're not better than these people. Okay, just communicating with human beings of any status is a skill that you need to have to evolve yourself, to live a fulfilling life, to have opportunities. It's just like, communication is everything. And I noticed this, but I've been lying to myself. All right, let me tell you a story. So this was probably the worst moment in my life, okay? I walked into class, it was senior year of high school, and I noticed that the chairs were in a circle. And I was like, fuck. It was like a Socratic seminar. And if you don't know what that is, it's basically when like half the class, you know, a random assortment of people go in the center and they talk about a topic, right? And everyone in the class is watching you, and the teacher, she writes these like webs to see who talked. And like, obviously I've been a very introverted person my whole life. You know, I've been kind of in this shell, especially in high school. I wouldn't talk to anyone. I basically had no friends. So I came into class late or something. I don't know why, but there was only one seat available, and I was in the first group. And right next to that seat was like the love of my life. But it was kind of complicated because she was like my first love in like middle school, right? But like, I have never been that attached to someone and like loved that someone in my entire life. Like, I had a girlfriend, but honestly, I loved her more. It's weird as fuck, but like, I know it sounds fucked up, but like, maybe because it was like my actual first love, but like, so there was still tension there, right? And I came around, I like sat next to her. I was nervous as fuck. Everyone was looking at me. well, I thought everyone was looking at me because I had so much anxiety, right? And then also the anxiety of being like next to her. So I was like stressing out. And I don't even remember what the topic was about. Like everyone had like computers in front of them, but I don't think I had anything. I didn't prepare for it. And like I had good grades in high school. I had like a 3.7 GPA, but like I've been just like naturally good at getting grades just out of fear. You know, I feel like a lot of things that drive me in life are fear. Like last semester in college, I had a 4.0 GPA, but like it doesn't mean jack shit because I'm trying to drop out. But so I was obviously trying to get a good grade in the Socratic seminar. And for the first like 9 minutes, I didn't say a word. I couldn't speak. Like I had ideas, like people were dishing them around, but I couldn't like get my body to say anything. There was this like gunk in my throat. There was something stopping me. And I was just like, all right, I'm just not gonna talk, or I was just waiting for the right opportunity. And like they started getting in a good flow. They were laughing and shit, and they're like, do you have anything you want to say? I was like, and I tried like flowing with, I was like, yeah, and then and then I asked a question, right? And it literally made no fucking sense. I don't even like remember, I don't even remember what it was, but it was like, it made no sense at all. I just like said some like random question. It was just silent. And then she's like, you want to ask again? I'm like, yeah. And I was like, I said the question again, and it was silent again, and then everyone just laughed at me. I was like, you don't understand how I felt. Like, you're probably like, oh, this is the worst moment in your life. Like, you haven't gone through anything, but like, you don't understand. Like, I've never been this anxious and embarrassed in my entire life. Like, I don't know why. I think every anxious experience I ever had, kind of just like, that was like the pinnacle of all of it. And that's when I truly realized that my communication was cooked, my anxiety was cooked, and I realized that I had like a serious problem that I had to work on. So I started going to the gym. This is when I really started my self-improvement journey. I started going to the gym. That was kind of the start of it. You know, that's why my first video was like a gym video, because I was like, you know, the gym started it all, so might as well. So I went to the gym for about a year. And then I was like, all right, time to level up again. And now I'm working on my content creation, my life's work. And that is when I actually started to work on my communication, because my communication has improved like dramatically when I started like content creation, like talking with people, like articulating my thoughts, you know, thinking or acting and talking before thinking. It loosened me up. It loosened up that gunk. You know, like I always knew I had to improve my communication skills, but I was coping. I was going to the gym. I was a gym cell, you know, like a lot of people call it. But you know, you work on yourself. You do these things that you can control, and it's safe because it's painful, right? You know, I really tried to. I thought this would help my communication skills. You know, getting outside of my comfort zone. You know, doing like painful things intentionally, but that pain is predictable, and it doesn't work like that. So health is like the foundation of your life. It's the foundation of the house. But communication is the four walls. It's what gives you the opportunities, the wealth, the relationships. It can even make you healthier. But if you combine these two, you're unstoppable. And you can have amazing communication skills, but if your health is bad, then you'll look bad. And if your health is bad, you'll be not as mentally clear. You'll have brain fog. Your communication skills will be worse. So these two work together. Like, communication is the one thing that bridges the gap between your thoughts and the real world. It's the most important thing. It's the one thing that bridges you from the real world. These are the two major shifts that I'm going in to college with, right? Number one is acting before I think, okay? You know, it's a simple saying, but it's really true. You know, our brains are meant to only focus on one thing at a time, the present moment. One thing at a time. You're working on, you're talking to one person. You know, we're not meant to be in our own thoughts. We're not meant to think of every single thing that we have to say to this person. It keeps us inhibited. It keeps us from expressing our thoughts. You know, we're meant to act before we think and then figure out along the way. And living in the present moment is so key as well. Because the reason we have anxiety, the reason why we have stress, the reason why we have fear, uncertainty, is because we're creating mental, vivid pictures of things that aren't real, and we're trying to control them. So it's giving us anxiety. So like, why would you want to do it to yourself? Why would you want to feel anxious? The only thing that we can truly control is our mind. Your brain will create these negative thoughts, you know, these vivid mental pictures, because your brain doesn't know the difference between like vividly imagined experiences and real ones, right? But your brain will just automatically create these things. But you can choose not to consume these things. You can choose not to listen to these things. Let them control you, because they ultimately just inhibit you. So if you just act before you think, if you can control your mind and your own thoughts, then you're unstoppable. And this is what I'm doing to truly improve my social skills and my communication skills. Because this is the one thing that I've been lacking, and I'm done hiding from it. I'm done coping. And this is what you should do too. And then number 2 is set true intentions. Okay, your intention creates the tension. I learned this from like Jack Pickett. I think I watched this like communication video. It has like 6 million views or some shit. I've watched it like 3 times, but that's a huge one. Like toward the end of last year in college, you know, I was trying to improve my communication skills. I knew that I wouldn't have this opportunity to talk to as many people in my entire life. So I went into interactions trying to improve my communication skills. And it ruined me. It made me inhibited. I had bad intentions. And my intention created the tension, right? My intention was to improve my social skills. I was trying to make this person like me. I was trying to, you know, improve. But it made me worse. If you have a true intention of just trying to connect with this person, if you're trying to connect with this girl, if you're trying to connect with a friend, then your intentions will be true. Your intentions will be pure, and you'll be able to flow because you're just trying to connect with that person. So if you combine these two, if you're just flowing, you're acting before you think, and you have true intentions, it feeds into your subconscious mind. And as humans, we're meant to work subconsciously. We're not meant to use our conscious, right? Like our forebrain, you know. We're not meant to think out everything. We just have to flow and let our subconscious work. And if you feed true intentions and acting before you think, in your subconscious, you will flow and your communication skills will improve. I'm basically making college like a training camp, like a sandbox to work on my like social skills, my communication skills. Because when you go to college, it's like you're going to like a different simulation, you're going to a different world. I'm just playing the character in the video game. I'm observing a player playing the video game. And it's the same thing in college. You need to treat your life like that. Treat your life like a video game. People say that, but you need to observe the player that's playing the game. So I'm giving you a 7-day challenge. Every single day, you need to talk to someone. Act before you think. And let your subconscious flow. Just talk to anyone. Just focus on using your subconscious mind. And then number 2 is I want you to go in with true intentions. Like if you're talking with anyone, if you're trying to make a friend, go in with true intentions. Like think of a time where you tried to perform, you tried to make someone like you, and recognize that as not the right thing to do. You need to actually just flow, be yourself, and have true intentions, and you will ultimately reveal your true personality, your magnetic personality. Every single person has a true magnetic personality inside you. You just have to unleash them. And if you're flowing, then the real you will come out. So drop a comment what you're doing to improve your communication skills, to help me, to help other people, to help the world. Okay, like a lot of people just like observe YouTube videos, which is cool. Like you're watching my video, you watch to the end, you know, you're part of my tribe, but they don't interact with things. And I used to be like that. Okay, I used to consume content all day. I would just watch people talk, you know, I would implement stuff into my life, but I would never interact with them. And like truly interacting with the creator, especially like I'm a small creator, right? I will see your comment, and don't be scared. Like, I'm telling you, bro, like, I wish I would just talk to, like, people I looked up to more, people that I wanted to be like. You're just not the average of your friends. You're an average of the people that you communicate with, the people that you know, the content that you watch. And when I see your guys' engagement, when I see your guys' story, it keeps me going. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not doing this for anything. I'm doing this to impact the world, to fulfill my purpose, to just to live my dream and help other people. That's all I'm doing this for. So if you're done living your old identity, if you're done living in your old self, if you're ready to evolve into the identity that you're meant to live, then join the community in the description. And I'll see you next time.